Okay, so now just to get you a little practice or show you how to do some of these percent problems. One thing I like to do is my last year working in a lumber yard before in the door and window shop before I started teaching. I earned 17.5. Then my first year teaching in Bethel, Vermont, I was paid 15,960. It was a cut and pay for a lot more time, a lot harder work. So a couple of things we can do with this though enough of the old reminiscing. Um, what we can do is we can find how much did my pay go down. Well, let's see. I had in the second year, that first year teaching, they'd paid me 15,960. And the year before that, I was earning 17.5. So what was the decrease? So if I type this in right to my calculator, my pay went down by $1,540. So that is the relative, or the absolute, not the relative. That's the absolute change in my pay. If I wanted to make it relative, well, I'm gonna compare it to what I used to make. So 1540 divided by my old pay of 17,500, and if we make that a percentage, that'll let me talk about percent change in my pay. So I'm going to divide those two numbers and make it a percentage. So my pay went down by 8.8%. So it was an 8.8% decrease in pay. So I've got two things here. I want to make sure you get the change, my absolute change in my pay, and then I compare it to what it used to be. Okay. So now, what about then the next year? What was nice? They came out and said we're going to give all first year teachers an 11.2% increase in pay. So how'd that work? Well, if I was making 15,960, one way that your elementary school teachers or your high school teachers might have showed you how to do this, here, let me move this around, is they might have had you do, okay, so the OL, or the is number is 15,960. That's what my pay raise was going to be. And if it's an 11.2% over 100, well, if I do my cross products, if I multiply 15,960 times 11.2 and then divide that by 100, that will tell me what my actual pay raise was. So that's my actual amount of money that it went up. And then, so what is my new pay for that next year? Well, I'm just going to take and add my old 15,960 pay plus my increase. So it went up to 17.7. A little bit more than I was making the year before at the lumberyard. So that felt a little better, especially considering that I had the summers off, but I ended up working those summers. So that's how you find an absolute change, and then write it relatively compared to what it used to be, and then how you can find the increase. Now, one thing that can speed us along a little bit, this part here can be a little cumbersome. So wouldn't it be nice to have an easier way to do that? Well, nice thing about it is the way I got this number here was I took my 11.2% raise plus I added in 100% of what I was making. So if you think of it as a 100% plus the 11.2%, isn't that like making 111.2% of what I did that year before? So the easy way to do this is, and it comes from this dividing by 100. I can change that to a decimal away from a percentage by moving the decimal point over 2 places to the left. And then I could just take those two numbers and multiply them, and I would be right where that would get me right to this answer without having to do this proportion. So I'm hoping that you're getting there, or if you're not already, that if you're looking for an increase, add to 100, add the percentage to 100 and then make it a decimal. If you have a decrease, subtract it from 100 and then multiply by the original. Let's do one of those. So you probably have heard about how when you drive a new car, how we drive it off the car lot, the price, the value of that car drops. So here's a hypothetical car price, car value, and then suppose it drops 12% in value as soon as I sign the papers and drive it off the lot. So what's that car worth now? What I was trying to get you to see, to do the shortcut, let's take 100% of the price minus 12%. That gives me 88%. So that tells me that as soon as I drive that car off the lot, it's only worth 88% of what I paid for it, or the list price. So the easy way to calculate what that car is now worth is just multiply the cost by the 88. And we'll get that answer. So I'm getting my car is now only worth $22,264. So as long as I don't owe more than that, I'm okay with my collision insurance, right? So, but that's the easy way to do it. Take your decrease away from 100, make it a decimal, multiply. So I hope this helps you work those percent problems.